Alrighty, here we go. If you remember back a little while ago, I bought this kit from Walmart. It's made by Boy, the hook company, right? And I thought, at the time, I said maybe we could like work this kit up using everything that was here and see how it goes. So let's do that. Okay, it might take a while. I'm not going to show you every single step along the way, but let's work through this and see how it goes. Okay, so here's our yarn. We have white because it looks like most of the head is going to be white. We have some green for the hat and pink for the hat, and then we have a little bit of black for the face. Okay, so that's our yarn. We have this little tiny little package of fill, little fiber fill. All right, that's what we get. All right, so this package contains one stitch marker. We have one, and I will probably use that. We have a hook, and we have a little plastic needle. Let's get it out of here. One stitch marker, one needle. Okay, let's set those there. Our hook is a 3.75. Boy, that's a little hook. This yarn is, it's a fairly good weight. That's a small little hook. All right, so here are the directions. We have pages and pages of directions here. Big old pamphlet here. All right. Yep, two-sided pamphlet, as a matter of fact. So this side of the pamphlet is really stitches, okay? It shows you how to make a magic ring, tells you how to make a single crochet two together, crochet through the front loop, the parts of a stitch. So it gives you stitch anatomy here, the top loops, the back loop, the front loop, how to make a French knot, how to change colors. So this is all basic crochet skills. If you don't know how to do these things, you can refer to this side of the pamphlet. This side is our pattern, okay? So it says each row starts with making one chain for the height. It does not count as a stitch. Use the included stitch marker, yes, to mark the first single crochet of each round. Rounds will end with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull the slip stitch and starting chain taut for a cleaner look. All right. Note, if the number is before the stitch type, like this right here, it says single crochet 6. If the number is before, so this one here, 2 single crochets in each stitch, then you do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. If the number is after, then you do a single crochet in each of those stitches. That makes sense? I hope that made sense. All right, so we are going to start with our white yarn. Let's see, how do we undo the white yarn? It's all tied up here nicely. Where do we untie our yarn? Well, I don't know. Let's see. How do we untie this? It would seem that it would be wrapped around a couple strands or something. Okay, I'm getting something to come loose here. Let's see. All right, we're getting something loose. I don't know. Did I pull it off like this? No idea. I could be making a complete mess. Oh, hey. I'm getting somewhere. Okay. Oh, so now, this is interesting. How does this go? Oh, it's just oh, look, we just got a thing here, like a loop-de-loop. Okay, we got a loop-de-loop. Don't mess that up. That seems like that could be a mess. All right, so we start. I'm not going to use this part of the yarn down here. It seems like frayed. I'm going to start about here, making my magic ring. So we're going to make our little magic ring. Okay. And I always start my magic ring with a single crochet, or not a single crochet, a slip stitch. This likes to come apart, this yarn. It likes to separate. It doesn't want to stay together. Okay. So chain 1. I did that. See, I chained 1. Now do 6 single crochet in our loop. And this is really, okay, let me show you up close what it does. See, it just spreads right out and separates. See, so of course it's going to split because it is, yeah. I'm not liking the yarn at this point. I hope it stops doing that. It's not yet. It's still splitting and separating. Makes it very hard to crochet it, let me just say, when you got all of these little strands you've got to get through. Does it get better? I don't know. That's 3. I've only gotten 3 single crochets in there because I've got to fight with all the little strands. And this tiny hook, see, we split that stitch right there. Well, this is an honest assessment of how it's going, right? Is that 4 or is that 5? I don't even remember. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only need 1 more. Come on, 1 more. Okay, and it split that stitch right there. Yep. Okay, let's try to not split it. Okay, let's see if we can tighten this up a little bit before we join. Let's tighten up our circle here, our ring. Okay, tighten it up that much, and then we'll come over here and we'll join to the first stitch with a slip stitch. Okay, that went well. Okay, now I'll tighten up a little more. Now we got our six little single crochets. Round 1 done. Ding ding. Chain 1 and do 2 single crochets in each stitch. So chain 1, 2 singles in each stitch. Okay, the yarn is getting better. It's staying together better, I should say. Okay. There it's split. 4. Oh boy. I should have 12 stitches when we're done. There's 6. 7 and 8. 9 and 10. 2 more. 11 and 12. And then join and get all the little threads. See, split, split, split we go. Join to the first stitch. Now, did I put a stitch marker in there? No, I did not. Okay. There's our first stitch we've joined. Okay. All right. Hang on. Did I go to the wrong one? Let's see. Let me go back. I feel like I have a great big space there. No, that's the right one. Okay. Sorry, I undid that, right? And chain 1. Slip stitch and chain 1. Okay. Now, I'm going to put my stitch marker in the next. I'm going to work on I'm assuming this is the head. I'm just going to work on the head for a little bit here. And we'll come back together and I'll show you kind of how the head came together. Okay? So I'm just going to work for a little bit and then I'll fast forward you and we'll go to the end. Okay, 2 things, 2 observations so far. 1, the yarn got a little better for a while without separating and splitting like it was, but it still does. It's just, I think it's just going to keep doing that no matter what. It's the type of yarn this is. So you have to deal with that if you get one of these kits. Just know that, okay? The second thing is the hook works just fine. It's just I'm not used to using a little metal hook any longer because I have gotten into using something with a more ergonomic handle to it, a little easier on the hands. So it does take a little more hand strain, I will say, to work with this hook. And then, of course, this yarn that just separates. It separates like, I'll show you here just a second. When I get it on the hook like this, you can see the separations. See, it just doesn't stay together. So there's that. But we're coming around this head, and this is pretty much a typical, if you're making a head for something, a typical pattern of increasing. And now I'm working on my rounds there are no increases. And I'm going to start working on decreasing to close this down to make the round circular head, right? I was worried for a hot second that I was going to have enough of this white yarn. I did have to stop. I did have to take it and ball it up because the way that it came, I couldn't deal with this. It's looped. It's just loops. And it was just getting tangled and it was making a mess. So I took a minute and I stopped and I rolled it up into a ball, and that's made things a little bit easier. So, but now as I look at it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to run out or not, but we're working on our little head of our little polar bear here. I'll keep working. Okay, so we got to the point where we're about to close it up and we stuff it. I put all that little stuffing in here. I had recorded a different clip showing it to you, but anyhow, I put all the stuffing in there, made it nice and full, and it's time to close up. I did follow their directions on how to do your single crochet decreases, although I would do it differently. I've learned how to do it differently, but I followed their directions, just so you know. But it's stuffed, and we're going to close it up, and then we have our head. Perfect. Okay, so the question's been answered. I have yarn left over. I did not use up all the white because we need this to make, what else do we make? We make ears. Yes, we make ears with this still. Yeah, that's it, the ears. So hopefully I have enough for his ears. Okay. My thoughts on the plastic needle, it's harder to sew things together with a plastic needle. This bends pretty easily. I'm used to my nice metal needle, so it's harder. It's harder to use. I'll just say that. All right, so we got that part done. That's for our ears. Before I move on, we do the ears next. Never mind. We do the ears next. I was going to say before I move on to these, I want to ball these up because I can't deal with the yarn like that. So we're going to make some ears. 2 ears coming. They're 4 rounds per ear. So this is what our little ears are going to look like. Let's make some ears. All right, I'll show you what they look like when we're done. Okay, here is my first problem. So here's one ear. Now, this is all I have for tails. That is not extreme, I don't believe. This is my starting tail. This is my end tail. You have to leave a tail to sew in. And I cut this off at the beginning because it was just nasty. This is all I have left. This is all I have left to do another ear. That's not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna get another ear out of that. So I'm gonna have to look for some white yarn that I can, botch up this, I guess, make it work. So we're short white yarn. That's our first problem. It's been going great until this. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make the hat, which is green. But like I said, I'm gonna ball that up first. So let me do that, and we'll work on the hat. And I'll have to hunt for some white yarn that is. I don't have anything similar to this, but something that's gonna work. So let me see what I can come up with. Okay, so we have improvised. Here is the ear. You fold them in half and you close them like this. So it's open right here. And this one I had to use just some Red Heart Super Saver. It is smaller, but it's what we're going with. Look, we got a big ear and a little ear. So, you know, do they have to be exactly the same? No. Now, here's my question. My hat is done, and I have it on my polar bear, okay? Nowhere in the directions does it say to sew this hat on to the polar bear. They don't say anything about sewing it in, okay? So, I don't think I'm going to. But what you're supposed to do now is you take your little ears here and somehow, you sew the ear into the head, okay? I don't know how to do that. Unless you have a really, really long piece of white yarn and you just go down and you come back up somehow. I don't know. You can't really get in there. Look, you got this little gap. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can get through one stitch like this, maybe. Okay, I guess I can do that. I don't know. Let's see if I can come down the back of it and out the front here. Maybe. I don't know. This needle just bends because it's this plastic. And is that enough to hold the hat on? Does that look goofy? I mean, I don't know. It kind of looks like the picture, but I don't know. Maybe I can just do that a couple more times. Just try to go all the way down in to the body again. Actually, I'm going to do this time. Look, I'm coming out down here below the hat. And hopefully I got enough yarn. I got plenty of yarn to do that. Then I'm going to go back up through the head, underneath the hat, and back into the ear, like that. Okay. I don't know. It seems pretty secure. I'm going to go with it. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more of those. I'm going to attach the other ear, and then we talk about pom-pom and face. Well, there he is. He's done. I think you're supposed to put like a little white French knot in the middle of his eyes, but I don't know. I don't think they look too bad. You're supposed to do some fancy thing with hiding your knot inside the hat and the head, and I was like, I don't have time for that. The pom-pom kind of, I don't know. I don't like the pom-pom a whole lot. I don't think it fluffed up much. I don't think there was enough yarn to make a decent pom-pom. I don't know. It is what it is. So here's my little guy. So here's how he hangs. He doesn't hang bad. I mean, I think he hangs pretty decent at a nice angle or whatnot. So that's him. That's how he turns out. And what did this kit cost? Like $7 or something? I don't know. Not bad. Not bad. So there you have it. Our little polar bear. Like I said, you'll have to pardon the embroidery. I'm not good at the embroidery part. If I would have done this kit the way I would have done it, I would have just put some safety eyes in here, and then I have some noses also I could have put in there instead of embroidering it. So anyhow, there it is. Ta-da! It's done. What do you think? See you next time.